reciting what Mama had been telling her every year since she was 2 years old. Right again. You're such a brilliant girl, Ella. Mama had used a stool to get the bulbs up high on the tree because she wasn't very tall, like Mr. Randolph next door. Okay, let's get this star up there so we can make our wishes. Mama eased the star out of Ella's hand and gingerly stepped onto the ladder again. She reached her arm up to place the star on the tallest part of the tree. There, she said. Isn't it lovely? Yes, Mama. Ella stared up at that gold star as if it were the most perfect thing she'd ever seen, and Mama stepped down off the ladder and stood beside her. Okay now, close your eyes and make a wish. Ella did as Mama instructed, clamping her lips down tight, too, because if anyone else heard her wish, it wouldn't come true. I wish for a pony so I can ride like the wind the way we did in summer camp. She opened her eyes. Mama still had hers closed. She was still wishing for what seemed like a long time. Ella stared at Mama, at the way her black hair was styled in big, fat, glossy curls that bounced on her shoulders when she walked. She marveled at the smooth skin of her mother's cheeks, the color of Ella's favorite caramel candies, and her scent. Mama always smelled like roses and rain, but no matter how much soap Ella used, she'd never been able to get that same scent on her skin. When Mama finally opened her eyes, her lips spread into another smile before she leaned in and kissed Ella on the tip of her nose. They had the same nose, a little wide and pudgy, but, as Mama always said, still cute. Ella wanted to ask Mama what she'd wished for because it had taken so very long. It must have been something big, but she didn't ask. Another song was playing now, Christmas Island, and her mother began singing again. This time, Ella sang along too. They sang and packed up all the empty boxes, putting them into bins and stacking them against the wall. Tomorrow, Mama would carry them up to the third bedroom where they'd stay until January, and then they'd pack all the Christmas stuff into them again. It seemed like they sang for hours that night, one song after another, all the Christmas songs with all the Christmas joy that Mama loved to fill the house with. It was the best time of Ella's life. And 6 months later, after the new year, when Ella was waiting for her wish to come true, it became the worst time of her life. Bolting up in her bed, Ella breathed heavily, a hand going to her chest in an attempt to still her thumping heart. It was just a dream, she reminded herself. Just a silly dream. But it was the dream that had haunted her for the last 19 years because it was the first time that Ella had wished upon the Christmas star, and that wish hadn't come true. She hadn't gotten that pony she wanted. Instead, her mother had succumbed to complications from lupus, and Ella knew from that moment on that her life would never be the same. For a few moments, she remained still in the bed, taking one steadying breath after another in an attempt to reacclimate her thoughts to the here and now. Light peeped through the partially closed blinds at her window, and she eventually turned her attention to the nightstand in search of the time. What she found, right next to her digital alarm clock, was the stack of mail she'd brought into the bedroom with her last night, but had neglected to open. With an inward groan, she stared at the red envelope on top of the small stack, the Christmas card from Ben. His handwriting was all too familiar. The festive Peanuts-themed stamp in the corner, way more jovial than she felt upon seeing it, and her heart had plummeted, then and now. How dare he? Not after